A true and faithful relation of what passed for many years between Dr. John Dee and some spirits. We are in the 1659 Meric Casaubon book by that title. Monday, January 13th, Main Hora 9.5, Stettin. After our long discourse upon the 9th chapter of Esdras, and so on, Uriel came and stood. He, E-I-Y, upon Edward Kelly's head, not visibly. Uriel said, read the 6th chapter. For faith must flourish. The world is rotten and is scalded in their own sins. Edward Kelly said, read it in the 28th verse. Thus it is. Florbit autem fides eo vencatur corruptella eo ostendetur veritas qua fine fra. Diebus, tantus, etc. Edward Kelly said, a voice saith, open the shoe stone. Edward Kelly continued, at length appeared one in a long white garment. The curtain went aside, and the feet of men appear now. This man seemeth twice as high as D. He hath nothing on his head, but long hair hanging down behind him. He is tied, or girded about, as though he were tied with many girdles. Uriel said, I'm Uriel, said this man. If this was one way to pronounce this in Enochian, we'd say Uriel. The light and hand of him that created heaven and earth, they talked with Esdras, and did comfort him in affliction, and the same that hath talked with you, yea, from the beginning of this action. Therefore gird yourselves together, and hear the voice of the Lord. Listen, I say, to such things as are hid. I say to them that dwell above the heavens, behold, this is the last sleep of the world, and the time that the power of the highest hath armed himself, saying, come, O ye strength of the heavens, and follow me. For the earth hath cried vengeance, and hath cursed herself, and despaireth. Come, I say, for I will place the seat of righteousness, that my kingdom may be in one, and that my people may flourish, yea, even a little before the end. And what is this? Edward Kelly said, he spake these 4 words in another tune. Yea, even a little before the end? Oh, and what is this? Was said in another tone. Edward Kelly further said, he looketh up to heaven, a voice, blessed art thou, which respectest thy justice, and not the sins of man. Uriel said, this is the voice of the angel that now taketh place. D said, may we be so as bold as to demand the name of that angel? Uriel said, no, it is not lawful. I swear by all things that are contained within this holy book, by the seed of God, and him that sitteth thereon, that the words which have been spoken in this action, and shall now be spoken by me, are true. 3 years are yet to come, even in this month that beginneth the 4th year, shall the son of perdition be known unto the whole world, suddenly creeping out of his hole like an adder, leading out her young ones after her to devour the dust of the earth. Prophecy of the year 1587 in January, Antichristus, si simpliciter sic annus est intelligendus, sinon septenarius unus nostrum annorum 24, sit habendas pro uno anno mystico vel 42 mensis etc. perpenda. Note that he spoke this pointing down to the great Bible of the Lord Albert Lasky, upon which the shoe stone now stood. So if you don't have a holy table, you get some sort of spiritual text or something, and you put your scrying stones or whatever on top of that. That's a method that can be employed. D said, "The sentence is dark. In respect of the time, consider well. I suspect 42 months, now and then, to be understood for and year." And in the margin we have Antichristus onus non vesis peribert interretium enim fructum. And Uriel spoke, "This month, in the 4th year, shall Antichrist be known unto all the world. Then shall woe dwell amongst the kings of the earth, for they shall be chosen of all anew. Neither shall there be any that ruleth now, or reigneth as a king or governor of the even unto the end of the 3rd year, but they shall all perish, their kingdom overthrown." And remember that if you look at the biblical references, the explicit references to Antichrist, it's not narrowed down to one individual. So Uriel kept saying, "The earth is wasted." Well, I mean, we're continuing what he said, with this being that called himself Uriel or Uriel, said, "The earth wasted. The rivers become blood, with the blood of men and beasts mixed together. In this time shall the Turkish state be rooted up and cast from the earth, and instead of him shall enter in that devil, the father of liars, and such as dwell in the house of vanity." In the 1600s was when the Turkish state made clear that they weren't an Islamic state, and they, started to decrease. But who became ascendant? The Christians and the secular and really the secular powers, because it wasn't Christendom really too long after that. But so that's telling you something there. Such as dwell in vanity. Behold, there's a 6-pointed star in the middle of this thing. Prince shall fly through his kingdoms as the greyhound after his spoil, devouring his possessions and cutting down the wicked. But he shall become proud. The prophets of the Lord shall descend from heaven, clothed with their old garment, very fresh and not stained. The eyes shall see them. Out of these books shall the true doctrine of the prophets and apostles be gathered, which are not to be understood, but with the spirit of understanding, the spirit of wisdom and truth. Behold, I will say unto you myself, come here. For the voice of the Lord is with power. Therefore be mild and of humble spirit. For lo, the time shall come, and have 7 books, such as shall be delivered unto one of you. And I will not meet thee walking in the fields, and I will stretch forth my hand, saying, Come. There shall thine eyes see these things that thy spirit doth, and thou shalt become a man of understanding, for I will give thee bread, and thou shalt eat it, such as shall be the bread sufficient comfort. And the margin here, D said, they are in paradise. They were carried upward, especially Elias. So the prophets there. And on the other side, we have Libra Tradens Ipsi, D speaking, and D speaking again, Suspecor 42 menses pro anno numerandas mystico FTS prophetis e vel annis vulgaris per anno maestres. Something's missing. Mysteries maybe, or Antichrist, Surpapia, Albert Lasky, Enoch, Elias are sign. Depending on how literal you take that, all that sort of stuff, we're running into something interesting with that. Is that sort of this is how it's explained in the Quran and some other things of how things are going to happen and how things per se did happen. The 42 could represent various things. We're aware of that number appearing in the Enochian keys. Isn't there a book of the Egyptian Book of the Dead? 42 oaths. I have not done this. I have not done this. That sort of thing. At least one version has 42, doesn't it? Edward Kelly said, "It thundereth in the stone of thee," pointing to Edward Kelly. "Thus saith the Lord, Thou art flesh, and become stubborn. Thy judgment waxeth dull, and thy heart sealed. But I will unseal thee, and shall be partaker. But, because thou hast offended me, not with power in worldly things, I will make thee a great seer, such an one as shall judge the circle of things in nature. But heavenly understanding and spiritual knowledge shall be sealed up from thee in this world. For thou art become stony, and hath cried out against my saints. Notwithstanding, your life shall be together. Thou shalt be a workman of nature, looking into the chambers of the earth, the treasures of men. Many things are plucked from thee which were thine, but not from you, because I have promised them. What is he that bridled the winds?" D said, "At your prayers." "Or who is he that preserved you from the bloody imaginations of men, and hatreds of the world invisible? It is not he that is God of heaven and earth? Is it not he that made both flesh and soul? Yea, even he it is that saith, Fly from the wickedness and society with devils. Leave off to sin against the Lord, for he is of great power. This is the last time that any show shall be made in this stone. For lo, the promise of the Most High shall be fulfilled." This sentence is revoked afterwards, and the stone dignified in the margin there. Edward Kelly said, "Now I see all those men whose feet I saw before, and there sitteth one in a judgment seat, with all his teeth fiery. And there sit 6, one side of him, and 6 on the other." 6 on one side, 6 on the other. "And there sit 12 in a lower seat under them. All the place is like gold, garnished with precious stones. On his head is a great stone covering his head, a stone most bright, brighter than fire. 4 bring in a man bound. Now all is gone except Uriel." And Uriel says, "The end of words, the beginning of deeds." After D asks that question at your prayers, the thing continues. And there was another voice, "Seal it up, for it is at an end." D said, "What is your will that I shall do with this stone?" Uriel said, "All is said, and I am sealed for a time to come." D said, "Deo omnipotente, vero vivo, el aeterno sit omnis honor, laus gloria, potentia, virtus eo victoria, nunc eo in sempiterna saeculorum saecula. Amen.